Hey guys, in this video what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to switch out your stock Ducati Scrambler pegs off the Icon and put on the stock pegs from the Desert Sled. Let's get going. Alright, this is a pretty easy process. The first step is to remove this little C-clamp down here on the bottom. And you can do that one of two ways. I like to use one of these C-clamp puller parts, or I've used just a screwdriver to knock it off. The one thing you want to be careful about is those are spring-loaded. So when you're pulling it off, use two hands and make sure it doesn't fling away so you don't lose it. All right, now that we've got this guy off the bottom of that, now we just need to take this pin out of the center. My bike's a little bit dirty. I've had it out on some dirt roads and stuff, so you can just use a hammer. Sometimes you can work it out with your finger if you need to, but use a hammer and work that little pin out of the top. Okay, so we've got this thing almost out of here. The big thing is going to be getting this spring back in at the same spot that it was before, which is pretty easy. There's only one direction it can go in. So let me get this out. Oops. There's the old piece. And then our spring. As you can see, it's got two sides to it. It's got a long side and a short side. The long side sits in this little hole, and the short side will sit up on top of the inside of the peg. And I'll show you what that looks like. All right, guys, so this is that spring inside of there. You can see the short side just fits over here, over this side. The long side will stick out, and that's what will go in this hole right here. There we go. So this is what it looks like when it's kind of situated back in. I don't have the pin back in, so it's not totally lined up, but you can see here this short side sits over the back of this, and then the long side goes in that little hole there in the peg holder. After that, the next step is to put the pin back in the top. That takes, again, two hands. Because one, mine's kind of dirty, so let me clean it up. And two, you kind of have to push the spring piece back together in to get it all lined up and square so you can get that pin back in. So let me put the pin in, and then we'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I've got the pin back in here and started. The key to this is you want to push the peg in towards the frame, so you got to kind of rotate it, push the peg in to get it some slack, and then you can work it in. But getting it started is always the hardest. So now I'm going to work on getting that spring lined up and getting it in. All right, so I've got it cleaned up here a little bit, kind of washed some of the dirt off. One of the big things you want is to make sure it's lined up. I had to twist it a little bit to get that bottom hole lined up, but as you can see here, it springs back as it should. Everything works pretty well, and all I have to do is put the little clip wherever I put it back in. There it is. Putting this clip on down here. There we go. I can't do it one-handed. Let me grab the pliers. See if I can get this done. There we go. Get that clip back on, make sure that's secure. You're all good to go, ready to ride. Thanks for watching.